Good evening and welcome to Arkadelphia High School for tonight's boys game in the 4A7 conference between Arkadelphia and Malvern. The Arkadelphia Badgers come into tonight's game with a 5-3 4A7 record. Malvern comes in with a 5-4 4A7 record. Chris Babb here, glad to be joined by Jason Jones.
There you go. Testing one.
There we go. Now we're joined by Jason Jones. So, Coach Jones, thanks for joining in tonight. Arkadelphia and Malvern, always a fun rivalry. These two teams know each other well. These coaches know each other well, even though Malvern's under first-year head coach Jess Martin. He was the girls' coach previously at Malvern, so he and Coach Williams have gone back and forth. It's a rivalry game, and both teams, are going to come out ready to get a good start in a rivalry game like this, especially when both of them are still playing for conference seeding.
Absolutely. You've got two teams that are, fighting for seeding, which is so important this time of year. Every game still means something. Nobody's out of any kind of race yet. Good crowd on hand tonight for both teams, just like you'd expect between Arkadelphia and Malvern rivalry game.
The 4A7 district tournament will be held February 11th through the 16th at Mena High School. The top four teams from that tournament will advance to the 4A South Regional the next week, also at Mena High School. Let's take a look at the starting lineups as they're being introduced tonight. First for the Malvern Leopards at guard, a 6'1 junior, number 0, Dallas Lewis. At guard, a 6'2 senior, number 2, Logan Schneider. At guard, a 5'11 junior, number 3, DeCoven Blackman. Blaise West, a 5'8 senior guard, wears number 10, and John Nolan will start in the middle, a 6'3 senior. Jason, when I did this game in December, the first game between these two teams at Malvern, the Leopards aren't afraid to shoot it as soon as they cross the half-court stripe, especially Logan Schneider and DeCoven Blackman. This game's going to be up and down. Arkadelphia scored 82 points in that game at Malvern. And although Arkadelphia has struggled offensively until the second half of the DeQueen game, it's a team that if they get going offensively in good streaks, they can be fun to watch.
Well, and I think when you think about Victor Tatamy and Javante Brown, if those two come out hitting early in this game, then I think it's liable to be a really exciting game to watch from a fan perspective. And we know, Malvern has had some success in their recent history. Had a really nice team last year, and some of those players are back. And I would expect to see a lot of three-pointers put up tonight.
Take a look at the starting lineups for the Arkadelphia Badgers. They will go with a 3-guard and /3.5 guard lineup. First, Henry Hunley, the senior guard, 5'8", and wears number 4. Also a senior guard, Victor Tatamy, a 5'11 junior, wearing number 11. Andravian Bullock getting a start tonight. We'll talk about him in a minute from Tuesday's game against DeQueen. Javante Brown, the guard forward, 6'1 senior, wearing number 23 in the start. And in the middle, London Cotton, a 6'4 junior post player, wearing number 32. Jason, you were here Tuesday night for the game against DeQueen. Arkadelphia came out slow again. It was the fourth game in a row that Arkadelphia had a slow start. They got a little spark from Andravian in the third quarter after he had to take a little break from getting his eye busted open. I thought that was a big spark in that game against DeQueen. That came from Andravian Bullock, and the Badgers kind of got in a rhythm offensively.
Yeah, the floor was spread, and I think that's probably to Andravian's advantage because he is a little guard, but he sliced in there a couple of times, especially on the baseline, made a couple of nice little floaters. And also, I think with London Cotton in this game, plus some guys that come off the bench, Arkadelphia could go with that big lineup that we've seen some this year and have a pretty good advantage as well.
London Cotton and Logan Schneider jump center. Cotton gets the tip, controlled by Tatamy, and we are underway here in this 4A7 conference matchup. Man-to-man defense from, Henry Hunley's going to start things off with I was trying to identify the defense, and Henry said, what defense? Got the 3, and the Badgers are on the board. It's good to see Arkadelphia off to a quick start offensively.
Malvern playing a pretty soft man-to-man is what it looked like, not guarding anybody very tightly to start the game.
Arkadelphia also will go to the man-to-man defense. They lose the defender, went off his forehead. Schneider forces one up, A shot is up, and that's going to be a foul on London Cotton. And going to the free throw line for Malvern will be John Nolan. Jason, Tuesday night against the Queen, London Cotton got in a little bit of foul trouble and was sent to the bench with fouls early in the first half and was limited in the second half. We saw a sophomore, Carson McAnally, get some good minutes offensively and defensively. A knuckleball free throw there from Nolan is no good. But London Cotton's going to have to watch the foul trouble as he gets a quick one here in the first minute of the game.
Well, you never want to see your post player or your floor leader, which that's probably Victor Tatamy for this team, get into foul trouble early.
Well, another knuckleball free throw, and London Cotton gets the rebound for the Badgers. Nice job by London of avoiding the travel. Interesting defense from, if that is a man-to-man, there's a mismatch as Nolan, the big center, is guarding Andravian Bullock. Henry Hunley dishes off to Bullock. Nice job by Henry Hunley of finding Andravian Bullock on the backside as the double team came across, and the Badgers are up 5-0. A lot of contact let go there. Big rebound by Cotton.
Malvern isn't a man-to-man. You can tell by the cutter cutting all the way through the lane and the man going with him. Quick shot by Andravian.
Dallas Lewis will pull up from the middle of the lane. His 13-foot jumper is good, and the Leopards are on the board 5-2 early on here in the first half. And Malvern will go man-to-man again, and Blaise West will pick Victor Tatamy up three-quarter court and switch off. Andravian Bullock gets behind the defense again. Another defensive lapse, ends up in an Arkadelphia layup.
So that was what we call a jump defense. They had big post man staying in the middle, not guarding anybody, basically. Trying to account for Victor Tatamy no matter where he goes.
And we saw DeQueen do that the other night, a triangle and two against Tatamy and Javante Brown. Arkadelphia switched offensive strategies at halftime, was able to get into offensive rhythm, and that's going to be a foul, I believe, on Henry Hunley. That's going to be the first foul on Hunley, and
they're going right at London Cotton. They are attacking the rim and it almost looks like they're trying to draw fouls early on him, early in the game. Malvern's got the ball out front, going to reset it after the inbound. Gets called for a walk as Logan Schneider kind of did a up and down and wasn't sure what to do with the ball. Not a natural point guard.
Turnover. We'll give the ball to Arkadelphia. Arkadelphia was fortunate that they didn't get an over and back there. It was very close. Cotton misses the layup. The ball goes out of bounds. Officials say that it was last touched by Arkadelphia, and it'll go over to the Leopards. 7-2, your score. As Snyder cuts down, Cotton. Oh. Is that going to be on? Oh, that's on London Cotton.
Yep.
That is London Cotton's second personal foul.
Well, I said
that was a cheapie. Sorry, Jay. There was not a lot of contact there, and that's a rough one to get your second foul called on you this early in the first quarter. It looks like Colin Medley is going to check into the lineup for the Badgers, replacing London Cotton, who now has 2 fouls.
Yeah, I said earlier that it looked like they were really trying to attack the rim, and of course, when your big man's guarding the rim, he's got to make solid decisions. And that was a tough call.
That was a tough call. The second free throw is good, and it's 7-3 now. Arkadelphia still with a 4-point lead. Henry Hunley will bring it up, and Blaise West is kind of like that line in Hoosiers where Norman Dale tells Strap he wants to know what flavor gum he's chewing. That's what Blaise West is doing for Tatamy. He breaks free and hits a three. Good to see Victor Tatamy knock one down from outside early. Logan Schneider tries to go right at Colin Medley, and he draws a foul. And that's the first foul on Medley, who just checked into the game. The fourth team foul. And he drug his foot there on the baseline. And Victor Tatamy goes up for the interception. It was incomplete. but Arkadelphia comes up with the steal. We'll play on words there with the sport. Bullock goes to the line, no good, but a foul is going to be called, and Andravian Bullock's going to go to the free throw line for the Badgers. That foul was called on,
I believe that was on Dallas Lewis.
Dallas Lewis. All right, I looked up too quickly before they had the number put up and didn't remember seeing Malvern have a number 5 in there. A line drive free throw from Bullock is good. It's 11-3. Almost halfway through this first quarter. Bullock's second free throw is also good. 2 for 2 from the line, and Arkadelphia is up by 12.
Actually up 12-3.
That too. Bad math there.
New math.
Thanks. Nice flash by Andravian Bullock to knock that one out and into the hands of Henry Hundley. Bullock goes up, and a foul is going to be called on Dallas Lewis. His second foul in 2 possessions. And, Jason, there's Andravian Bullock, the spark again, getting things going on the defensive end, and it's ended up in more free throw opportunities for the senior.
Well, and also, Dallas Lewis last year was an outstanding player on this team, kind of a spark plug for them. And that can't be good for Malvern, that one of their better players has 2 fouls early, just like Arkadelphia's big man, London Cotton.
Lewis still in the game, though. Coach Martin not showing that he's going to bring a substitute in. Doesn't have a very deep bench. You look over on the bench, neither of these teams are going to go more than 7 deep, if not 6. 13-3. The lead is now 10. Ooh, and Andravian's going to be called for a foul. That is the first foul on Bullock, 5th team foul. And Snyder's going to go baseline, does a nice job of avoiding the charge, Jason, and gets the layup to go.
Help was a little bit late rotating over to the block, did not get outside the lane and take the charge.
Tatamy gets by West, off to Medley, back to Tatamy. He'll pull up, same spot, 3-pointer too strong. Rebound to DeCoven Blackman. Haven't heard his name yet. He's not shot one yet, and there's contact allowed by the official. Thought London Florence was going to draw a second foul on Colin Medley.
Pretty bad shot there. He really let go of that thing behind the backboard. That may have bailed Arkadelphia player from getting a foul called.
Henry Hundley now trying to bring it to the right side to Bullock. Trying to spring Victor Tatamy open. Malvern switching on those screens. Blaise West is going to be called for a reach-around foul. 3rd team foul called against Malvern. The only other 2 had been called both on Dallas Lewis. Javonte Brown takes the ball inbounds, pulls it back out. Nice job by Medley of finding a hole, just can't get the chip shot to go.
Missed the crib shot right in front of the rim.
13-5. Tatamy reaches around. Gets a hand on the ball, but nice job by Dallas Lewis there of finding a hole in the defense, and a nice pull-up jumper off the glass. Cuts the Arkadelphia lead to 6. There's not much contact there, Jason.
No, there are a couple of young officials on the floor, and one of them seems to be a little bit whistle happy.
I don't know if he's trying to keep it under control. I don't know what he's trying to keep it under control, or
which this has not really been a chippy game.
No.
Somebody told him it was a rivalry game. Good
nice run. Foul's going to be, should have shot it. And now Henry's going to act like he was shooting, but you didn't shoot it, you were passing it. And I think he was almost lucky that they called a foul there as well.
Yeah.
Hunley will pull up, gets it out to Colin Medley. Three-pointer good for Colin Medley. And the lead is back to 9. Good shot in rhythm that time by Colin Medley. You know, Arkadelphia playing man-to-man defense as well as Schneider gets one to go. This has continued to be called as tightly on both ends. It could put a lot of people in foul situations. Henry Hunley goes all the way in, layup no good. The rebound was tipped by Bullock, but controlled by the Leopards. Now, DeCoven Blackman has the ball and then passes it up. The two shooters on the floor, Blackman and Brown. That's a hop after he caught the ball, but it was let go, and a rebound to Javante Brown. Tatamy goes the other way. Pull up from 15, rolls around, no good. Colin Medley looking for Medley looking for Tatamy. Oh, he just bulled. That's a travel.
Whoa. He wrapped that ball up like a running back going through the line. He had no intentions of shooting it. No. He was just trying to draw a foul. Good grief.
A foul was called on Javante Brown. What I was going to say a while ago is the shooters on these two teams, DeCoven Blackman and Javante Brown, have been silent for the most part.
Most of the baskets coming from short shots slashing to the rim, really, outside of the few three-pointers.
Schneider's second free throw is good as well, and it's 16-11. It's a 5-point lead for the Leopards. Under a minute to play here in the first quarter from Arkadelphia in this 4A7 rivalry game. Nice wraparound pass from Colin Medley, and a foul is going to be called. Is that on West? It's 3, and they do. They call that on Blaze West, and that is his third personal foul. 6th team foul, and he's still in the game. Henry Hunley's going to wide open three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Colin Medley. Hunley called for the travel as he Coach Williams not happy with that. I think I could even hear him over the microphone. Quit being so fancy. Nice move by Logan Schneider. Just went all the way in. Almost uncontested, and it's a one-possession game, 16-13. After a strong start for the Badgers, the Leopards have made this a one-point game, one-possession game. But to stay with Arkadelphia, I thought Victor was wanting some contact and didn't get it.
A lot of contact there, not being called.
Yeah, and there's lots of non-contact being called. It's weird thing to figure out. We're at 1 second. That's not the three-pointer that Malvern wanted at the buzzer, and that is the end of the first quarter. And Coach Williams is up off the bench, not happy with how his Badgers ended that first quarter. 16-13, Arkadelphia leads by 3. Jason, your thoughts after the first quarter? It was a tale of two 4-minute periods, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the main thing both of these coaches are thinking is where's the defense? A lot of drives to the basket with not much other than a few fouls here and there, but team defense seems to be lacking on both ends of the floor for these two teams. And
it's not really that high scoring of the game either.
No, there are lots of shots around the rim, though, a lot more than what you'd like to see. Of course, you know, Arkadelphia with London Cotton sitting on the bench with 2 fouls early because of the amount of drives going to the basket. But at some point you've got to give help, even though, you know, you're trying to play man-to-man, but you're not just guarding your man. Coaches always say you're guarding a man and a half, and the half is whoever's closest to you or whoever's trying to drive by you.
To start the second quarter for Arkadelphia, it'll be Brown, Hunley, Tatamy, Medley, and Bullock on the floor for the Malvern Leopards. Lewis, Blackman, Schneider, Florence, and Nolan. At some point, I just get the feeling that DeCoven Blackman and Javante Brown will have to figure into this game offensively. Dallas Lewis penetrates. Nice. Rising fadeaway jumper from the baseline. And now it's a 1-point game, 16-15.
Got to get a hand in his face. Not necessarily going for a shot block, but just something to provide a little bit of distraction.
Arkadelphia using cross screens on the baseline. Tatamy left open, three-pointer off the front of the rim, no good. Kept alive by Colin Medley. And Javante Brown was trying to corral that ball, and that pass, and his foot was on the baseline. Now all of a sudden Malvern has a chance to take a lead here as Nolan comes for a big screen up top. Nothing going there. Florence, that's going to be an offensive foul on London Florence. Nice job of ball defense that time by Andravian Bullock, Jason.
I don't think there was really any way for Andravian to avoid that shoulder. It was a big hunk of meat coming at him there.
Yeah, a little size mismatch there. Little size mismatch in that matchup. Tatamy's going to walk the ball up the floor against Blackman. Penetrates, the ball is knocked away, and a foul is going to be called on DeCoven Blackman. And Victor Tatamy is going to go to the free throw line, and that was the official blew that whistle right in front of Coach Martin, and his exact words were, "No way." Tatamy is going to go to the free throw line for Arkadelphia. The first free throw is up and good for Victor.
DeCoven has not shown a lot of interest in this game just from his body language.
Right.
I think there might be something else going on.
Tatamy misses the second, and it's a one-handed rebound from Logan Schneider. Schneider guarded by Brown, picked him up at half court. Now Lewis will drive up and under the move over Henry Hunley, and we're tied at 17. Tatamy quickly the other way. Dishes off to Medley, back to Tatamy. He'll pull up from 13. Rattles in and around, no good. A rebound to Malvern's London Florence, and Arkadelphia fortunate that Medley was not whistled for a foul. Dallas Lewis pull up from the baseline. He was hot. Thought he could try to sneak another one in there, but that was just a little bit too much off balance.
Well, and that was also a good contested shot. Hunley literally had his hand right in Lewis's face.
Andravian Bullock has a three-pointer rattle around. Medley active on the offensive glass. Couldn't control it. Dallas Lewis, they're going to call a foul on Andravian Bullock, I believe, with the reach in. Now they're going to call that one on Henry Hunley. Second foul on Hunley. And Dallas Lewis will go to the free throw line for the 1-and-1. Gets the first one to rattle around and drop through. 18-17, the Leopards have their first lead of the game. Lewis misses the second, rebound to Medley. The Badgers are now playing from behind. Andravian Bullock for three, no good, and a rebound is going to be called. A foul is going to be called on Colin Medley. And the the Leopards will go to the other end for the 1-and-1. That's the second personal foul on Colin Medley, and Carson McAnally will check into the game for the Badgers. Mentioned McAnally Tuesday night against the Queen. He came in for London Cotton, who was in foul trouble, and got some really good minutes. He was active offensively and defensively, and the Badgers are going to need him to do that again tonight.
Well, I thought he played an outstanding game the other night. He has a knack for the ball. When it comes off the rim, he has really great timing. He blocks out, and he really goes after the rebound.
High arcing free throw from John Nolan. Another knuckleball, high arcing rebound, and there's Carson McAnally with first rebound of the game. 19-17 Malvern. Arkadelphia needs to get something going offensively. Victor Tatamy drives in. No foul called, and Schneider's on the other way. Florence, layup good.
No, Victor's in a situation where he can just jump up and shoot that short jumper. He needs to take a little bit of his English off of these shots and just finish a short, easy jumper.
Henry Hunley goes baseline. Foul's going to be called on Florence, the blocking foul. Jason, you see in college a lot now, people assumed that if you jumped up off the floor that it was an automatic foul. Looked like Florence might have jumped straight up. The official ruled that he jumped into Henry.
Yeah.
Coach Martin asking about that same thing. Tough call against Malvern on that one.
The one advantage a little guy has, it sometimes looks worse than it is.
21-19. 2-point lead for Malvern. He just hopped when he caught the ball. Florence gets around Hunley. And now Nolan is going to be called for the travel. And the ball will go over to the Badgers and try to tie the game or take a lead on this possession. They're really going to make Javante Brown create his own shot.
Yeah, they don't want to let him get going. Victor
He's going to defer. He's going to defer to the other official to make a call. And now that call is going to be on John Nolan. A blocking foul is going to be called on Nolan, and Victor Tatamy is going to go to the free throw line.
Could have called that on about 3 different players, I think.
Maybe including Victor. Tatamy 2 for 2 from the line on that trip. And we are tied again at 21. Chris Babb, Jason Jones here at Arkadelphia High School for this 4A7 conference matchup between the Badgers and the Leopards. He hopped again. Yeah, she called it. She did call it.
Well, she's 1 for 3 on that call. Actually, they are 1 for 3 on that call.
Yeah.
It's easy to miss, though. You're not expecting it, and it's subtle. So
there's a women's player from Harding University in the early 2000s did it every time she caught the ball. So I called it her name in the rule.
That's funny.
It was called about 1 out of every 4 times also. Tatamy goes baseline. He and DeCoven Blackman matched up against each other, and Blackman knocks it away from behind. Florence kicks it out to Blackman. There's something going on. I agree with you. I agree with you, Jason, because he's shooting that ball every other time. Javante Brown, 3 from the corner, no good. Andravian Bullock does a nice job of getting a finger in there. McAnally gets it back out to Bullock. Nice job by Carson McAnally, but he's going to be called for a traveling violation. Great hustle by Carson McAnally to keep that alive twice, Jason.
Well, I said he's got a knack for the ball, and he just proves it over and over again. To me, it's hard to not keep him in the game just for his rebounding.
Coaches' wives can also be coaches too. And Miss Williams, after the game the other night, was telling Coach Williams, said, "Hey, number 22, you got to keep him in there more."
I agree with Miss Williams.
Nice move by London Florence to get to the rack, avoid the defense, and get the layup to go. And it's 23-21. The Leopards are up by 2 as we go under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Bullock, Tatamy, Hunley, Brown, I think they've all gone the distance for Arkadelphia. Henry Hunley with a hand in his face from 3, in and out, no good. That's about as far down as the ball can go in and then come out. And then a foul is going to be called on the other end. Dallas Lewis penetrates to the basket, and Dravian Bullock gets whistled for the foul. That's his second personal foul. And Dallas Lewis will go to the free throw line for the Leopards.
Way too much dribble penetration for the Badgers are giving up,
yep.
And it's putting their post players in a really bad spot because they're the last line of defense, and they're having to defend way too many times other people's players driving to the bucket.
24-21. The second free throw, no good, but 2 offensive rebounds. And a putback puts Malvern up by 5 as we come under 2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Andravian Bullock, as Florence gambled for the pass. Bullock had an open lane. He was fouled by John Nolan, his second personal foul. Bullock's going to go back to the free throw line. It's his 3rd or 4th trip of the first half, Jason.
Yeah, that was a. I really didn't see the foul there, but we'll take it.
I think some people in orange and black who might agree with you. Bullock misses the first one. Nick Leeper comes into the game for Arkadelphia, replacing Carson McAnally. Some more good minutes from the sophomore. Bullock's second free throw is good, and the Malvern lead is cut to 4.
This is a really small lineup for Arkadelphia.
Schneider will pull up in rhythm from 3, no good. Rebound to Victor Tatamy and Arkadelphia. Hunley open, three-pointer from the corner, no good. The Coven Blackman was going for the rebound. He fell down. Hunley to Bullock, and the layup is good amongst the trees.
Good hustle by the 2 little guards for Arkadelphia.
Schneider out to Florence. Stolen away by Bullock. Tatamy's on the backside. Bullock with a nice behind the back. No good, but a foul's going to be called from the backside.
Good hustle by Bullock.
Yeah. Great job by Andravian Bullock.
He was looking for Victor Tatamy, just didn't really have the angle to make the pass.
And that is the 3rd personal foul on Dallas Lewis. So Dallas Lewis and Blaise West each have 2, and the official just signaled to the assistant coach from Malvern, Terrell Brown, that he got him on the side of the head. Kyler Pfeiffer checks into the game for Arkadelphia. He's going to replace Henry Hunley. Pfeiffer can be a defensive stopper for the Badgers, as the Badgers need someone to stop that penetration. Pfeiffer, quick defender, on-ball defender, and that's what his assignment's going to be right now. He's going to guard Blaise West, who just checked. Actually, he's going to guard Florence. Blaise West for Malvern also just checked back into the game. He also has 3 fouls.
Once again, they missed the walk. I really struggle with that call. Should have never been a foul because he walked a good 3.5 steps.
Schneider's first free throw is short and off the front of the rim. Second free throw, good. And it's 27-24. The Leopards have a 3-point lead as we come up under 1 minute to go here in the second quarter. Pfeiffer has the ball on the left side to Bullock, right side Tatamy. Blackman guarding all over Tatamy. Layup no good, and a foul is going to be called on the rebound as Javante Brown got the offensive board. Put it back up, and he was fouled by Logan Schneider. That's the second foul on Schneider, and Javante Brown's going to go to the free throw line for the Badgers to try to pull them within 1.
I love how aggressive Victor Tatamy is. I would love to see him just rise up and shoot that short jumper.
Yep.
I think you'd see his shooting percentage go way up. He's so capable of making a lot of these plays that he's trying to make, but he's having a tough time finishing some of those right now.
Brown gets the second free throw to go, 27-25. The Leopards have the ball and a 2-point lead. Nice help that time by Pfeiffer on the backside. Dallas Lewis almost got his own rebound. Very athletic play, and he does get the steal. And the layup. 15 seconds to go. 29-25. Leaper, no good. Rebound to Schneider. Throws it off of the feet of Kyler Pfeiffer. And Malvern has 2 seconds remaining in the half. Now we're going to see Blackman's first shot. We do. And it's no good. It's the end of the second quarter. Malvern 29, Arkadelphia 25. Just like we had in the girls' game at halftime, we will have some of the Arkadelphia youth basketball, the 5th and 6th grade league. Have the 6th grade boys will play a few minutes. And so we'll let you watch them during this halftime break. Again, this is the 6th grade, 2 6th grade boys basketball teams squaring off against each other. They played in the league this year with Lakeside and with Sheridan. They'll play again tomorrow here and then finish things up next week with a tournament at Lakeside. Welcome back to Arkadelphia High School, where the Arkadelphia Badgers and Malvern Leopards are about ready for the second half. It will be Arkadelphia's ball when we return from the
we may be shooting technicals.
No, not quite, but they're the Badgers are now ready to roll, and we're going to be back to action. So on the floor for Arkadelphia, Henry Hunley, Victor Tatamy, London Cotton back into the game after having early foul trouble on Dravian Bullock and Javante Brown. Arkadelphia running a little backdoor set. Nice job by Henry Hunley. Can't get the layup to go. Cotton rebounds the ball and traveled. Didn't use his dribble there in traffic.
One time he should have used his power dribble to get a better position.
And get on balance. Blackman penetrates. The runner in the middle of the lane, no good. Gets his own rebound, kicks it out to West. Snyder's going to back down Brown, and they're going to count that shot. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. When you don't clear the rebound on the first shot, you just set yourself up for failure.
Schneider's going to go to the free throw line to make this a 7-point lead for the Leopards. It drops through. Jason Malvern might have had the offensive rebound. Had it not gone through, Arkadelphia didn't box out.
Yeah, Arkadelphia is not a great defensive rebounding team from what I've seen the last couple of games, and they're not really built for that either. I mean, they really only have one forward or post out on the floor at a time, and that makes it a little tougher.
Henry Hunley is going to be fouled by DeCoven Blackman. And Henry Hunley is going to go to the line for 3 free throws. He misses the first off the back of the rim. Second free throw good. 6-point lead now for Malvern.
Arkadelphia does not need to let this get away from them here to starting out the third quarter.
Oh, very correct. As opposed to just correct, you were very correct. But
very correct.
It's a very good point. Arkadelphia really needs to come up with a couple of stops, and Logan Snyder just
baby hook.
Backs Brown down, hits the baby hook, and now DeCoven Blackman is going to be called for a foul 75 feet from the basket. That's his third personal foul. And Arkadelphia will try to trim into this 7-point Malvern lead. Dravian Bullock. Shot no good. Brown almost had the offensive board but couldn't quite control it. Goes off to Malvern. Schneider, three-pointer way off. Offensive rebound for the Leopards. They're going to call a late offensive foul on DeCoven Blackman, and that's his fourth.
Well, I think it was a good call, but it was about 5 seconds late.
That is the fourth foul on DeCoven Blackman. Snyder's going to pull up from 30 feet. No good. A rebound, London Cotton. Tademy kicks out to Brown. Brown for three. Jason, Arkadelphia is fortunate that Tademy didn't get called for a little illegal screen there after he passed that one out. He tried to cut Schneider off from getting out to Brown.
And that was a huge three for Brown. And that was a bad foul for Cotton.
Yep. Good to see Javante Brown get going from the outside. That's the third foul on London Cotton of Arkadelphia. Florence hits the first free throw, 35-30. They get 36. 2-possession lead for the Leopards. Jason, it was about this time in the game Tuesday night that Arkadelphia went on a ridiculous run offensively. Boy, the Badgers sure could use that again. Nice offensive job by Javante Brown. Foul is called on Dallas Lewis, and that's his fourth.
I'm telling you, whoever gets the most offensive rebounds is going to end up winning this game, because the best part of any possession is whoever's getting the second, third shot.
I think Coach Martin is going to call a timeout. I think he was telling the official, I'm going to time out after these makes or after the rebound, because you look at foul trouble, DeCoven Blackman has 4. Dallas Brown also has 4. And there's going to be your timeout. 36-31, 5:01 remaining in the third quarter. And, Jason, the foul situation for Malvern, Dallas Lewis and DeCoven Blackman each with 4. Blaze West with 3, and he got that one a long time ago. This has been a very, very strange quarter, 2.5 quarters of basketball.
Yeah, honestly, for Malvern, they're going to have to run everything through Logan Schneider. The one thing they have going for them is they're playing with a lead, and that's a lot easier to do than trying to play catch-up, which is where Arkadelphia is at right now.
We mentioned Tuesday night the Badgers trailed DeQueen 26-24. DeQueen had a three-pointer attempt from their left corner and right in front of their bench. Would have given DeQueen a 5-point lead. It was a miss. Arkadelphia got the rebound, and the Badgers went on an 18-0 run to take command of that game. That run ballooned to 41-6, and Arkadelphia ended up winning 69-41. The game ended up getting in the sportsmanship rule late. I don't expect that to happen tonight, but Arkadelphia really needs to get something going offensively and get a couple of stops. And you got Dallas Lewis and DeCoven Blackman still in the game, each with 4 fouls. So Coach Martin doesn't have a deep bench, not going to use any of his bench, and he's going to let those ride as long as they can.
Yeah, Arkadelphia needs to finish this quarter out and have the lead, because you got to figure that 2 of Malvern's best players are going to be back. They're going to be out of the game until the fourth quarter, so this is your chance to make some hay.
They're still on the floor.
Wow.
Turnover, steal by Victor Tademy. He's going to penetrate, get to Cotton. Nice look for Henry Hunley for 3, no good. Rebound to Cotton, out to Tademy. Thought about the 3, now he'll take it. 3-pointer, no good. Cotton tips it, but can't get it. Logan Schneider, guarded by Javante Brown, gets it to Blackman. And about right there where Blackman has the ball is where he shot from 95 times at Malvern. You see his first 3-point attempt there was a fadeaway from the right baseline. It was short, but Malvern gets the rebound. Florence is going to go off on Cotton. He draws the foul, and that's 4 on London Cotton. So foul trouble for Arkadelphia. London Cotton with 4. Nobody has 3. Andravian Bullock, Henry Hunley, and Colin Medley each have 2. Free throw from London Florence rolls around and falls out. No good. Colin Medley checks in for Arkadelphia, replacing London Cotton. Second free throw, almost the exact same situation. Almost exact same result. Rebound to Arkadelphia. Tatamy will walk it up. You got to like the odds of Tatamy being able to draw a foul on DeCoven Blackman. Henry Hundley goes in and draws a foul. That was on Blaze West, now his fourth. So 3 players on the floor for Malvern have 3 fouls. And they've really got to watch how they play. Henry Hundley takes advantage of that. Blaze West couldn't do anything from the back. Had to let Henry Hundley go. Nobody was in between he and the basket, and it's a one-possession game.
Henry had him on his hip, and Blaze had to make a decision to foul out of the game or let it go.
Javonte Brown had a nice block on the first shot. Then he was called for a foul. Dallas Lewis penetrates around, pulls it out to Florence. Long three-pointer from Florence is long. Rebound to Brown to Tatamy. Nothing DeCoven Blackman can do about it. He has to let him go in, and it's a one-point game.
Well, I'll say it again. Everything better run through Logan Schneider because he seems to be the best at drawing fouls, making offense happen.
Nice job of one-on-one man-to-man defense from Tatamy on Blackman. Kick out, walk. There it is. There it was called, and the ball will go over to Arkadelphia.
Yeah, he wanted to get a little running start on that one.
Yeah. Arkadelphia down by 1. They have a little bit of momentum right now in the last few possessions anyway. Bullock penetrates against Florence to Medley. And back out to Hundley. Give the ball to Tatamy. You go all the way because he can't foul you. Oh, that's a deep three from Brown. Good for Javonte Brown from way downtown. And the Badgers have retaken the lead, 38-36. Nice move on the other end by Blackman, 38-38. Timeout, Arkadelphia.
I think I'm going to be looking at trying to figure out how to stop the drive with my post players, but I'm also going to be trying to figure out if I can't get a one-on-one situation with whoever is guarding Victor Tatamy, because it's somebody with 4 fouls no matter who they match up. Because every one of the guys with 4 fouls can all play a little bit, get those off the floor, and you get into what we said earlier was not a very strong bench.
On the floor for Arkadelphia, Javonte Brown, Henry Hundley, Andravian Bullock, Colin Medley, and Victor Tatamy. For Malvern, DeCoven Blackman, Logan Schneider, Blaze West, London Florence, and Dallas Lewis. 3 players with 4 fouls for the Leopards.
And here we got looks like a flat set, which is what I was interested to see.
There. Lewis was trying to draw a charge on Brown. Did not get it, rightly so. Ball goes over to Malvern after the missed shot. Brown's going to try to take Victor Tatamy one-on-one. Pull up, three-pointer, off, no good. Long rebound to Javonte Brown. Tatamy all the way in. Jason, when you have 3 guys on the floor with 4 fouls, there's only so much they can do defensively. He had the momentum. Anything was going to be a foul if they had tried to stop Tatamy.
And Dallas Lewis was completely covering Javonte Brown up. They did not want to give him a 3 in the corner, so it really left a great situation for Vic to be able to drive the ball.
See a little Dallas Lewis on Andravian Bullock. Goodness. And you can't point to her. She didn't blow the whistle. It was just you. The official blew his whistle and pointed to his crewmate, thinking that, no, I'll let you call it, but she wasn't going to call anything.
Wasn't a lot of contact there.
Foul was on Dravian Bullock. On the inbounds play, Henry Hunley swipes down, knocks the ball out of the hands of DeCoven Blackman. And they rule that it was last touched by Blackman over to Arkadelphia. Coach Jess Martin trying to get an explanation. Bullock goes all the way in, high off the glass and good for Dravian Bullock, and it's a 4-point lead. Jason, you talked about it. The Badgers needed to go in potentially with a lead at the end of the third quarter. And that's where we're sitting right now with 42 seconds left. Arkadelphia is up by 4.
Of course, I thought that's because he's going to have his best players on the bench saving them.
Nice move by Blaise West. Rebound, Javante Brown. Badgers trying to get numbers. Nice look to Dravian Bullock, and he catches it in and throws it in the basket before he landed a nice, almost a steal by Victor Tatamy. Nice flash to the ball by Tatamy. Jason Dravian Bullock with a very athletic. It was an alley-oop.
Without the dunk.
Without the dunk, and when the ball goes no more than 6 feet off the ground.
Great pass to set that up.
Nice pass there from Schneider. Coming up on 10 seconds, and this is going to be a DeCoven Blackman shot. And there's the foul on Victor Tatamy. I believe that's going to be his first personal foul. 6th team foul on Arkadelphia. Next foul will put Malvern in the bonus.
I think I'd want to back Vic up just a little bit more.
He's in range right now, and he gave it up. Now Schneider's going to be the one that pulls the long trigger from 3. No good, and that is the end of the third quarter. Your score, Arkadelphia 44, Malvern 38. It was a strong third quarter for the Badgers that saw them come take a lead after being down 36-31, I believe, Jason. It might have been a 13-2 run there to finish that third quarter.
I think that's right, and I'll tell you, they need to – the game plan stays the same for the fourth quarter because the situation is the same. You've got Arkadelphia, with the exception of them having the lead, you've got Arkadelphia in okay situation with fouls, and you've got Malvern in a bad position because you've got 3 of their players that are playing most of the minutes on the floor with 4 fouls, and there's really no reason for Arkadelphia to change anything right now. You got to feel like probably Malvern's players are going to continue to play tentative in order to stay on the floor, at least early in this fourth quarter. Now, if the game tightens up, they may have to just play straight-up defense and hope that they don't get called for the foul. But you'd think, at least initially, they'd try to stay in the game.
Yep. Malvern will go to the free throw line on Arkadelphia's next foul. So, and Malvern still has 1 foul to give. 5 team fouls against the Leopards, 6 against the Badgers. But overall, the foul situation is definitely in favor of Arkadelphia.
For sure.
London Cotton has 4 fouls. He's on the bench right now. No other Badger has more than 2. Bullock, Hunley, Medley, and Brown all have 2 fouls. 44-38 as we start things up, and they forgot to start the clock. And now we're ready. 3 seconds. That was a lot of time there. Blackman's going to go baseline, pull up from 15, rolls in around and good. And it's back to a 4-point lead for the Badgers. Tatamy right side to Bullock. Brown is guarded by Lewis, who has 4. He's going to pull up from 3. No good. Rebound to Lewis.
Right now, Arkadelphia should be taking shots going to the rim on those 3 players with 4 fouls, in my opinion.
Schneider just muscles that one up and in.
Nice tip.
Nice tip by Schneider. Dallas Lewis got around Bullock. And it's a 2-point game as Malvern has started the fourth quarter with 4 straight. Tatamy pull-up jumper good. Going left and shooting across his body. And the lead is back to 4. Maybe a no, yes shot there from Vic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about I'd like to see him clear it out and let Vic try to get all the way to the rim.
Uncontested 3-pointer is good for Dallas Lewis. And Malvern has regained the momentum and cut this lead to 1. Looked very good offensively in the first 3 possessions of the fourth quarter. Hunley fakes the 3, High post to Javante Brown. Tatamy goes all the way in. He's either a shot or a pass. Now he's going to pull up, trying to draw the foul, avoid contact.
Good control there by Victor Tatamy. It's going to be a foul on Vic for the little push-off. Blackman is not a very stout-built kid. It doesn't take much to push him off. Victor is a little bit stronger and definitely had the forearm up.
Victor getting the explanation from the referee. DeCoven Blackman goes to the free throw line for the Leopards. No points in the first half. Had a free throw, and then he had a pull-up jumper in the third quarter. And he hits the free throw. And it's a 2-point Arkadelphia lead. Flat, but it goes in, hits the front of the rim just soft enough to drop through. 48-47.
Had to climb the rim.
Henry Hundley goes all the way in, and there you go, Jason. They had to be tentative, did Blaze West, if he wanted to foul out. If he didn't want to foul out, DeCoven Blackman go one-on-one with Tatamy. Pull in high off the glass, no good. Rebound, Victor Tatamy. He's going to try to push it. He goes all the way in, a layup good.
And again, Dallas Lewis had to slow down.
Had to slow down. That's the second trip in a row that a Leopard who has 4 fouls could not contest the wide open layup. You don't want them fouling out because you got to have them on offense. So you're just assuming that you're going to count on this strategy. Assumes that Arkadelphia is going to end up missing a lot of shots. Tatamy quickly ahead to Hundley. Dallas Lewis has 4 fouls and another layup because you got 4 fouls and can't foul out. And Henry almost tried to draw that foul too much, Jason.
He did, and you know, Lewis is a longer player. Normally he would have gone up and blocked that shot more than likely, or tried to block it at the very least.
London Florence tries to draw the foul on Medley. No foul called. Tatamy underneath. Nice job by Brown of finding Hundley. Schneider called for the foul and I think he might have been able to get another little extra after the whistle for slamming the ball on the floor, but the officials showed restraint, and Henry Hundley's going to go to the free throw line.
I've seen players teched up for a lot less. I've seen coaches teched up for a lot less.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now. Henry Hundley's free throw as he shakes off the awkward landing on the left shoulder.
Arkadelphia doing a good job of getting out in transition.
Yep.
They've got Malvern playing tentatively, and now Malvern's not running the floor either.
Now it's a 9-point lead for Arkadelphia. The Badgers just need to keep getting defensive stops, forcing bad shots. If they throw up a bad shot and it goes in, with that, I thought Florence was going to try the 3, and that would have been a good shot. Now Blackman. Now they're going to call a foul on Logan Schneider, and I think we're going to have this is a point in the game where.
Well, Chris, that is an excellent call. It's a call that every coach in America absolutely hates. But when you trip a player, whether intentionally or unintentionally, you have to call something because something did happen.
And that's the 5th foul on West.
And that was a bad foul.
That was not a smart foul.
Out in front of everybody. That's just, you can't do that.
And Henry Hundley is going to go to the free throw line. That's 5. Wait a minute. Yeah. Five fouls. And John Nolan's going to come back to the free throw line. The official says, hey, we got 2 shots. Why are we?
Should be after the first shot when they make the substitution.
That was his 5th foul, though, so he had to come out. And so I think the officials are trying to make sure that it's not a 2 foul, was not the 10th foul, or make sure it's a 1-and-1 situation.
Yeah, that's right. Good job.
Hundley back to the free throw line, makes it 3 in a row. And it's a 10-point lead for the Badgers.
honestly, one or two of these players fouling out could end up sparking Malvern because the guys coming into the game can play more aggressively. So I think we have to look for that.
And here goes Blackman trying to do that. He's going to penetrate all the way in. Wraps it around. Oh, no good. There, Tatamy and Brown were both there for the rebound, and Tatamy points to Javante and says, my fault, my fault. Snyder guarded way out by Brown. Hundley almost sneaks up from behind, gets the steal. Instead, Blackman shoots from Malvern. Maybe it was just Caddo and missed. And Arkadelphia has the ball, an 11-point lead. Yep, Blackman's not going to try to foul because he's got he's got.
I tell you, Blackman is long, and whenever he's playing somebody like Hundley there, his long reach could really still pop a ball loose.
Boy, Jason, it's been a game of runs. Arkadelphia at the first half just had no flow whatsoever from either team. Not very well executed very much on either end of the floor. And then you come out in the third quarter, and Malvern started the second half, went on a 6-0 run to erase what momentum Arkadelphia had going into halftime.
Yep, and they had that little run, and then foul trouble caught up with them, and it completely changed the way they had to play the game.
I'll go back to 3 possessions where you had talked about if you have 4 fouls, you have to play tentative defense.
Yeah.
And there were 3 straight possessions where Arkadelphia was able to get a layup because the defender had 4 fouls and could not contest the shot.
Yeah, and then that slowed them down in transition, too. Their transition defense wasn't as good and led to some easy buckets for Arkadelphia.
I believe Kyler Pfeiffer is going to check into the game for Arkadelphia. Defensive substitution there for the Badgers as they expect that Malvern will try to make this somewhat of a one-on-one type game offensively between Logan Schneider, Dallas Lewis, DeCoven Blackman. So Kyler Pfeiffer is going to come into the game on the floor for Arkadelphia. Pfeiffer, Brown, Tatamy, Bullock, and Medley. Dallas Lewis has 4 fouls. He's guarding Javante Brown. Boy, you talked about the length of DeCoven Blackman, and he just showed it there. And Javante Brown is long himself. He's got length in his arms, and Blackman really, really disrupted that.
Not only is he long, he's really quick, too.
Yes.
He's got really quick hands. Nice pass.
Nice pass from Tatamy, inbounds the ball to Medley and cuts to the basket. A little give and go.
Yeah.
And she was going to call. I think everybody wanted to walk on that one. I didn't see what happened.
I thought the foul probably could have been called on the
earlier.
floor.
Yeah, I thought the foul was a little bit earlier.
A little NBA continuation call there.
Hey, they don't call walk at the NBA either. So.
Maybe she's an NBA ref.
Maybe. Schneider makes the first free throw to make it a 12-point lead, to cut into the lead. And makes the second one. Now it's 11-point lead for Arkadelphia. Hundley will check into the lineup for Arkadelphia at the next dead ball. You don't want to get too tentative with this much time left because those guys have played this long already with no fouls and with not having fouled. And so they're just going to play, no holds barred. What in the world was that? A turnover is what it was, and Javante Brown's going to go up for the layup. Counted in the foul. Javante Brown gets the Arkadelphia lead back to 13.
Well, what a good aggressive take to go in with his left hand. He had a tough spot there. He couldn't really he was looking to make the pass, but it was really a more aggressive and smarter play to go ahead and take the shot.
Yep. Good move by Javante Brown. Good finish. He's at the free throw line to try to extend the Arkadelphia lead to 14. He does. Good looking free throw from Brown, and it's 63-49. Schneider is going to pull up. or he's going to go all the way in. Nice job by Javante of not fouling, as I think Schneider was going to try to get him to commit the foul. Tadamy's going to split the defender, bump knees with somebody, and then he's going to have to hop off as you see London Florence on the far side in front of the scorer's table hobbling. Victor Tadamy hobbling as well. I think that's a case of those knees were going right into each other, and both of them are limping around a little bit. That's the fourth foul now on London Florence. So West is gone with 5. Blackman and Lewis have each played the last quarter and a half with 4 fouls. And now London Florence has 4, and Victor Tadamy goes back to the free throw line. First one off to the right. No good. It's the right side of the rim, I guess. No good. Change our clock to reflect the one in the gym. 2:28 to go here in the fourth quarter. Arkadelphia leads by 14, and try to make it 15. Good looking free throw there from Vic, and it's a 15-point lead for the Badgers. Now one-on-one move right here from Blackman. He's going to pull up from 25 feet. Off, no good. Rebound Medley. Tadamy operates on Blackman. Nice job by Florence there of getting a hand in the passing lane as Tadamy was trying to go to the backside wing to Andravian Bullock. Henry Hunley, catch, shoot, three-pointer, good for Henry Hunley, and it's 67-49.
I just saw Henry flex, and I didn't see anything happen when he did. He might not ought to do that anymore.
Schneider's three-pointer barely grazes the front of the rim. DeCoven Blackman, I think, tried to commit his 5th foul. Was not whistled for it. And then he gets a steal. Oh, and they're not going to call a foul on Henry Hunley on that one.
I don't think he saw it. Yeah.
I think you're right. I don't think the official saw. I don't think the official saw. He's going to see this, though.
Yeah, Henry tried to get cute there.
Yeah. He was standing out of bounds, wasn't he? He's going to call. Wasn't Lewis standing out of bounds when he stole that ball?
I couldn't see where his feet
Coach
were.
Martin's going to try to get an intentional foul on that. Not surprising. I've got 67-51. The scoreboard has 67-49. I don't know which one is correct. Yeah, I think it's 51.
I think they're playing catch-up.
Yeah.
There we go.
67-51, 129 remaining, and now Dallas Lewis is going to go to the free throw line to cut into this Arkadelphia lead, and it's going to stay with Malvern. Florence took a little hop before he shot the ball. This has devolved quickly.
Yeah. Arkadelphia would do wise to try to play keep away a little bit just to burn some time.
Nice pass from Andravian Bullock. Colin Medley with the layup and good. Nice pass by Andravian Bullock. They had the numbers as Malvern was pressing. Pull up for 3 from Blackman off to the right. Rebound to Bullock. Up to Brown to Tadamy. Spins off of Lewis. Layup good for Tadamy. And Nolan just lost his side of the ball. And Andravian Bullock with a steal and the layup good. 73-51, under a minute to go, and that's going to about do it for this one. Schneider to London Florence. And they're going to call a foul on Henry Hunley. 40 seconds to go in this one. And Coach Williams has called on his assistant, Coach Ware, to get a new 5 in there and get his guys out.
Probably
good idea.
Decision.
Yep, good idea. 73-51. London Florence at the line for Malvern. and a whole new 5 are going to be in the game for the Badgers. And they will come off to a round of applause from their fans. Henry Hundley, Victor Tadamy, Colin Medley, Javante Brown, and Andravian Bullock. In the game now for the Badgers, Kyler Pfeiffer, Romeo McClure, Carson McAnally, Elijah McBride, and Logan Becker. Kyler Pfeiffer is the other way for Arkadelphia. Pass ahead to Romeo McClure, a little bit too strong. Snyder's going to go all the way. Don't do anything dumb. Contest the shot. Good contest there.
Yeah,
but a foul a little bit late. Foul was called. And so 73-54. And Logan Schneider will go to the free throw line to they're going to call a lane violation on Malvern.
Our fans are worried about the interstate traffic getting backed up, I guess. Don't want to get caught in the traffic.
What just happened here?
I missed that.
I guess they called a foul on DeCoven Blackman. So Kyler Pfeiffer is going to go to the free throw line for Arkadelphia. Misses the first. Try to be good to get Kyler in the scorebook with a make, and there it is. 74-54. It's a 20-point lead for the Badgers. Kyler Pfeiffer really came in and gave some good defensive minutes in the first half. A little spark. I believe it might have been some of his first varsity action tonight. Florence will run the clock out, pull up for 3, no good. And new into the game for Malvern. That was J.J. Davis gets the basket at the buzzer. But there's no MTV Rock and Jock 20-point shot in NFHS basketball. Your final score, Arkadelphia 74, Malvern 56. The Badgers improved to 6-3 in 4A7 play, while Malvern falls to 5-5. Jason, your final thoughts on an interesting game that it was a 5-point deficit for Arkadelphia midway through the third quarter, ends up in a 20-point win, very similar to what we saw Tuesday night against the Queen.
Yeah, the thing that sticks out is just Malvern's lack of depth caught up with them as the game went along, and Arkadelphia continued to be aggressive and played themselves into the lead and were able to hold on and didn't allow Malvern to get back in the game even as the fourth quarter went on, and those guys probably played a little bit looser.
All right, again, your final score, Arkadelphia 74, Malvern 56. The Badgers get the season sweep of the Malvern Leopards. It's Chris Babb thanking you for joining. Jason Jones and myself was bringing you the action tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday night against Hope. Thanks to Anderson Jones for running our camera during the boys' game. Thank you, sir. They didn't hear you.
You're welcome.
They probably still didn't hear you, but he said you're welcome. Arkadelphia 74, Malvern 56. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.